Good morning, guys. Hope you are doing well. Today, I'm going to explain subject-verb agreement on the special request of a sweet little girl, Amina Sifraz, who lives in Kuwait. So let's begin. And for that, let me share my screen to you. Well, yeah. All right. Now, this is what we are going to study today. This is what we are going to learn. Subject-verb agreement. Now, see what we are going to see in today's lecture is final S and ES, how and where we use this S and ES, basic subject-verb agreements, subject-verb agreement using expressions of quantity, subject-verb agreement using there plus be, and subject-verb agreement with some irregularities that we will see today. Now, let's see where we use S and ES. So this is something is very, very clear that I hope all of you understand this, that with any noun, when we use S or ES at the end, it means that we want to say that some noun is either singular or plural. Okay, when noun is singular, we write it without S. For example, friend. Okay, but when it is plural, what we do, we add S with the noun in order to make it plural, right? Friends. But there are some words, some nouns in English which takes es, final es instead of s. For example, class, we use es. There are certain rules that you might have studied or you can see in any grammar book, like with final s or final sh, final ch, we use es instead of s. So here, for example, like if we say friend and class are singular and friends and classes are plural, right? But when we talk about verb, it is just the opposite case. In verb, when there is S or ES, we call it singular verb. And if there is no S or ES, we call it plural verb. Now, why does it happen? Let me tell you. For example, like when you study tense, then we will notice that in simple present tense, when the subject is third person singular, then we use S with the verb. Okay, for example, I have given here Mary works at the bank. And here John watches bird. So this watch, since the term watch is ending with ch, so we will use es. But here Mary is a singular girl, John is a singular person, so we are putting s with the verb. It means that this verb is singular verb. And now see some more examples I have given here. Mary works singular, she works singular, the students work plural. So when the subject means the doer of the action is plural, then the verb will be singular. Verb singular means without s. Like the students work. But if there is one student, we will say the student works. Okay, so again, understand this, noun with s is plural and verb with s is singular. But verb singular means singular subject. The doer of the action has to be singular. So if the third person means any third person, any name, like what is the person? Like we are talking, if I am speaking, I am first person, we all are first person. You are the one who is listening, so you are second person. Now when we are talking about anything else, he, she, it, the name of anyone, all these will be included in third person. So if the doer of the action, if the subject, or subject is what? It's not only the doer of the action, but subject is also about whom we say something, right? Like if I say the cat is cute, the cat is nice, the cat is quick, the cat is white, right? So here the cat is not doing the action. We are explaining, we are telling something about the cat. The cat is white, the cat is brown. Okay. So in this case, when the subject means the doer of the action, or the subject is about which we're explaining something, if it is singular, the verb has to be singular, means with s. The verb has to be with s. And if it is plural, the verb has to be without s. Okay, now let's check out some more things in this. Yeah, here, they work. They is a plural word, so we will use they work. We will not say they works. It will be wrong. Okay, now see some more examples. Now we will see basic subject verb agreement. Like singular verb, like my friend lives in Boston. My friend, I'm talking about one of my, means one friend, my friend. So here the verb will be singular with S. My friend lives in Boston. Okay. Now plural verb, if I say my friends, then it will be my friends live in Boston. Okay, my friends live in Boston. Now let's check out the next one. Yeah, the same thing has been explained here. Verb plus S or ES means third person singular in the simple present tense. And noun S plus ES means plural. When we talk about noun, means noun is the name of any entity, right? So when we talk about the name of any entity, we can make it plural by adding S or ES. But verb is the action, right? And in verb, when we put S or ES, it is according to the subject. That is why we say subject verb agreement. Means when whatever the verb we are writing, it must agree with the subject, with the number of the subject, and accordingly the verb has to be either singular or plural, right? So how we will decide it, this is what we are going to understand here. So make sure one thing, which is very confusing for most of the student, that in simple present tense is a tense which is used for habitual things, or for the fact, okay, for the universal truth when we are talking about. Then we use, or for general statement when we use, then we use simple present tense. In that, this is the rule, this is the generative grammar rule, that there is no question why. Okay, this is just a rule that when the subject, the doer of the action, is singular, the verb has to be singular. And when the verb is singular, we use S with the verb, S or ES according to the spelling of the verb. If the subject of the sentence is plural, especially the third person, okay, if it is third person and if it is plural, then we have to use plural verb. Okay, if the subject is first person or second person, then also we have to use okay, that is sorry, this is about present tense, but I'm not talking about that simple present tense. Like I live, we will say I live in Saudi Arabia, or I live in India. Okay, but when it is he or she, then we will say he lives in India, she lives in particular place, right? Whatever it is. So this way. Now let's see some more examples on plural verb. Like my brother and sister live in Boston. Now see here, if it is only my brother, if you're talking about like my brother lives, if you're talking about one person, subject, third person, and it is singular, then we will say lives. My brother lives in Boston. But what is happening here? That's the subject becomes plural. My brother and sister, more than one. Then what we will do, we will say live in Boston. We will not say lives. We will use plural verb, and plural verb means without S. Clear? Next, my brother, sister, and cousin live in Boston. Again, the subject is plural, so we will use plural verb. Okay. Two or more subjects connected by and require a plural verb. Clear? Now move on. Singular, some more examples on singular verbs. Now see, for example, if I say every man, woman, and child needs love. Notice here, although in the subject line, we will notice that there are many nouns have been used. Okay, every man, woman, and child, and it is connected with and also. But why we use needs? Why did we use singular verb with S? Because if you notice here, all means we are not talking about all of them. We are talking about any singular, every either man or woman or child, right? So we are talking about every individual. So here with the any noun with every, if it comes, we will use singular verb. That is why we have written here, every man, woman, and child needs love. Okay. Next sentence is, Each book and magazine is listed in the bibliography, is listed. We have not used are over here. We have not used a plural verb. Rather, we have used the singular verb. Why? Because again, here we are not talking about all the books in magazine. We are talking about each, means each individual. Okay, each book and magazine is listed in the bibliography. All right, the same thing has been explained here. Every and each are always followed immediately by singular nouns. In this case, even when there are two or more nouns connected by and, the verb is singular. Fine. Now, some more exceptional on singular and plural verbs. Now, let's see. Singular verb plus plural verb, we will see. Suppose that book on political parties is interesting. That book on political parties is interesting. The ideas in the book are interesting. Now see the difference here. Sometimes a phrase clause separates subject from its verb. These interrupting structures do not affect the basic agreement, like that book on political parties. So this is a complete noun phrase. This is not a particular noun only. It is a noun phrase with adjective phrase, right? And in this what we are talking about one book. That book we are denoting a book which is on the political party. That book on political parties is interesting. So when a phrase is separated by 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 a clause, when a phrase is separated with a clause like that book on the parties, so this is one clause, dependent clause, and then we have another clause is interesting, right, with the verb. So this way, in here, this particular clause with the noun phrase having its adjective phrase is singular. We are talking about one book. Okay, so here we will use the verb is, singular verb. In the second sentence, the ideas in that book. We are not talking about that book. We are talking about the ideas in that book. Okay, are interesting. And the idea we are talking is not one. We are talking about multiple ideas, right? So the ideas in that book are interesting. Here we will use the plural verb. Clear? Like as in one, the interrupting prepositional phrase on political parties does not change the fact that the verb is must agree with the subject book. Okay, so we have to be careful about this, that when the subject is the book, that book, then the verb has to agree with it, and with that book we will use is. But if I say those books on political parties, then here we will use the verb are interesting, not is. Okay, now singular plus verb plus plural, singular verb plus plural verb, we will see some more examples. The book that I got from my parents was interesting. Now again, the book that I got, it is here again embedded clause. But what we have to notice, that we are talking about singular book, the book that I got from my parents. So the verb has to go with the subject, and thus here we will use was, because the book is singular. Okay, so whatever is written in the clause or in the phrase, in a particular phrase, we have to be careful about the number of the noun. So here we are talking about one book. The book that I got from my parents was interesting. On the other hand, if I say the books, which is plural, right? The books I bought at the bookstore were expensive. Here, since the noun is plural, so the verb has to be plural, and thus we will use were instead of was. Okay, the same in 3 and 4, the subject and verb are separated by an adjective clauses. Okay, by an adjective clause. Now let's see. Next one is watching old movies is fun. This is called gerund. Okay, a gerund example here, watching, used as a subject of the sentence, requires a singular verb. Now see, gerund is what? It is an expression which looks like verb, but it acts as a noun. Okay, with ing, any verb with ing, it it looks like it is a verb. Like in a sentence, if I say I am watching TV, in this sentence, this word watching is a verb. It's okay. But when I use the same term as a gerund, it will be used as a subject of the sentence. Watching TV with friends is fun. Then in here, when it is used as a subject, it is considered as a singular subject, and we will use is with that. We will not use watching movies or watching TV with friends are fun. No, it will be always considered as singular. Now, this, since it acts as a noun, so it can be used as an object also. For example, you can say, I love watching TV with my friends. So in this sentence, love is the main verb and watching TV with my friends, watching is gerund, which is used as an object. Anyways, this is another, it requires one more lecture. So here, just understand here that when gerund is used as a subject, which acts as a noun, of course, then the verb has to be singular. Okay. Now, a subject verb agreement using expression of quantity. Now, let's see the expressions of quantity. We will see some examples of singular verb first, like some of the book is good. Some of the book is good. Now, see the plural one. Some of the books are good. So with like some of. Now, in most expressions of quantity, the verb is determined by the noun or pronoun that follows of. Okay, any noun or pronoun which follows of, accordingly, we will write the verb. Okay, like here in A, we have written some of the book. After of, the following noun is singular, so the verb will be singular. Okay, now in B, some of the books means the following noun is plural, then we will use plural verb, like some of the books are good. Clear? So that is what it is written here. Some of plus plural noun will be plural verb. Okay, and some of plus singular noun will be singular verb. Some more examples of the same kind we will see, like a lot of the equipment is new. So after of, the following noun is singular, so the verb has to be singular. A lot of the equipment is new. 2/3 of the money is mine. Most of our homework is easy. Right? Now let's see another example here with the plural verb. A lot of my friends are here. So with following a lot of and then following noun, what we have written is plural, then the verb has to be plural. A lot of my friends are here. 2/3 of the boys are here. Most of our assignments are easy. Most of our assignment is easy. Got the difference? If you are using after of, most of our assignment, if it is meant singular, then we will write is easy. And if you say most of our assignments, if the noun you are using with the plural noun, then verb has to be plural, and then we will say most of our assignments are easy. Clear? Now, next is a singular verb. Let's see some more examples. Like one of my friends is here. Now, pay attention here. One of my friends is here. Although the following noun is plural, but we have used singular verb. Each of my friends is here. Every one of my friends is here. So why it is used? This is the rule here. This is the exception. There are many exceptional things in English language. So this is also one of the exceptions, that one of, each of, and every one of take singular verb always. One of, each of, every one of plus plural noun is always singular verb. One of my friends means we are not talking about all the friends. Among all the friends, I'm talking about one of them. Okay, that is why whenever we write this expression like one of, each of, so every one of, all, these takes plural verb, plural noun, but it takes but it takes singular verb. Okay, so one of my friends is here. Each one of my friends is here. Every one of my friends is here. Okay. Now let's check out for more examples, like none of the boys is here. And at the same time, we can also say none of the boys are here. So this expression, none of, subjects with none of used to be considered singular in very formal English, but plural verbs are often used in informal English and sometimes even in formal writing. So both are correct, both are accepted. Okay. Next is subject verb agreement using there plus be. There plus be means auxiliary verb. Any auxiliary verb it can be. So how can we use, like when like there is a fly in the room, there are 3 windows in this room. So how do we decide it? Again, we decide it according to the following. Noun. There plus be introduces the idea that something exists in a particular place. When you have to talk about anything and when you want to say about the existence of that thing, we generally use the expression with there plus be. It can be there is, there are, there was, there were, if you're talking about the past. But how we will decide whether it has to be singular, the verb has to be singular or plural, it depends upon the subject. It depends upon the noun phrase that follows it. Okay, there plus be plus subject plus expression of place. For example, like the subject follows be when there is used, when there is used. As in A, the subject is a fly, which is singular, so we will write is there is a fly in the room. In B, the subject is 3 windows, not one window. The subject is what? 3 windows. So when it is plural, when the noun is plural, of course we have to use the plural verb, so we will use are instead of is. So we will say there are 3 windows. Fine. Next, now we will see some more irregularities in subject verb agreement. Now we will see some irregularities in singular verb. For example, here, like sometimes a proper noun that ends, sometimes the proper noun that ends with, that ends in s is singular. In the example, like we will see the example here, if the noun is changed to a pronoun, the singular pronoun is used, not the plural pronoun they, because the noun is singular. Okay. For example, now see, we will see some of the words which ends in s. But it is, especially the name of the places, it ends with s, but it is not plural, it is singular. And thus, and like for the example here, the United States is big. Now if you have to replace this term United States with a pronoun, what do? We will use a singular pronoun, like the United States is big. Instead of United States, we can say it is big. We will not say they or they are big. No, it will be wrong. Okay. So the same way, many other examples are given here. The Philippines consists of more than 7,000 islands. So again, Philippines, it sounds like it is, since it is a collection of, of some places, so it is always written in plural, but it takes singular verb. The same way, the United Nations has its headquarters in New York City. So again, United Nations has, we will not use have, we will use singular verb. Okay. Harrods is a department store. We will not say Harrods are a department store. All right. Now some more irregularities in singular verb. Like here, the news is interesting. News, although it looks like, it sounds like it is plural, but it is not plural. It is always singular. Okay. Mathematics is easy for her. Physics is easy for her too. So again, the name of the subjects like this, fields of study that ends in x, require a singular verb. We will never use, it sounds like plural, but it is not plural. It always requires a singular verb. Okay, diabetes is an illness. Again, diabetes, it sounds like it is plural. Certain illness that ends in s are singular, like diabetes, measles, mumps, rabies, rickets, shingles, whatever it is. It sounds like plural, but it is actually considered as singular. Okay, some more irregularities in singular verb, like 8 hours of sleep is enough. 8 hours of sleep, although it sounds like plural, but we consider it as a singular. 8 hours of sleep is enough. $10 is too much to pay. 5,000 miles is too far to travel, right? Now, expression of time, money, and distance usually require a singular verb. Now, see that example, 2 and 2 is 4. 2 and 2, we will not say 2 and 2 are 4. 2 and 2 is 4. 2 and 2 equals 4, not equal 4, equals 4. 2 plus 2 is or equals 4. 5 times 5 is 25. So always remember that this type of arithmetic expressions require singular verb. Okay. Now see some about plural verb. People, police, cattle, and fish. These are the expressions that they are always plural. They are plural in itself. There is no singular of it. People, police, cattle, fish, they are plural. And if it is singular or plural, it is decided generally by syntax, by its syntactic structure, or we can say by its sentence. Okay, for example, here we can say those people are from Canada. We will never say those people is from Canada, because it is always plural. The police have been called. So police, we call it collective noun. Okay, we cannot say the police has been called. If you say like I saw a police there. Okay, when you are talking about one person who is a police, and then you can say I saw a police there, or a police was standing there, then it sounds good. A police was standing there. So these are the terms which is used for singular also, and which is used for plural also, but it depends upon the sentence, its syntactic structure, that in this sentence structure whether this is singular or plural. Okay, but in general it is considered as plural always. So since these nouns are always plurals, we will use plural verb. The police have been called. Cattle are domestic animals. Fish live underwater. But if you are saying that I have 2 fish in my aquarium, right? So again, there are 2 fish in my aquarium. There is only 1 fish in my aquarium. Now see this here. There is only 1 fish. So since you are mentioning the number of a fish, because we cannot, fish is a noun which has the singular form and the plural form is the same. Fish, a fish, many fish. We will never say fishes, right? We never put S or ES. So this depends upon our syntax, our sentence. So if you are mentioning a number of fish, then accordingly, if it is 1, you can say that there is 1 fish in my aquarium. But if you are talking about in general, there are many fish in the aquarium, or fish live underwater. We will not say fish lives underwater, because we're not talking about any, there is no specific number. We're not talking about any particular. So fish in general are considered as plural. So we will take plural verb. Okay, now see some more things. Here, see this example of singular verb. English is spoken in many countries. Chinese is the native language. It's quite clear so far. I hope you have understood. English is the third person and a singular name of something, some language. So we are saying that, okay, English is spoken in many countries. Chinese is his native language. But at the same time, now see these sentences. The English drink tea. The Chinese have an interesting history. So what do we notice here? That in first A and B, they are the language, name of the language. The English, English is spoken, Chinese is, Hindi is spoken in India, Arabic is spoken in Saudi Arabia, right? So these are the name of the languages. So it is considered as singular noun. But on the other hand, when in number C and D, if you notice, with the determiner, okay, I hope this is quite I hope this is understandable, or you must be knowing it, that with proper noun generally the determinants are not used. So English, Chinese, Portuguese, French, all these are the proper noun, and so we will not use any determiner with that. But when it is used with the determiner, like the English drink tea, the Chinese have an interesting history, so these are the language which is referred to the people of the country also. In this sentence, the English is not the language, rather it is the people who live in England. Chinese is not the language, rather the people who live in China. Okay, so that is why here we will use in a, like the English drink trees. The English means the people, the entire people of the of England, the entire people who live in England are called English, and so it is considered plural, and therefore we will use plural verb. The Chinese have an interesting history, right? So this way, if in very easily, if you say the Indians have, so Indians, it's quite clear that India, the people live in India is called Indians, so it is plural, so we are using plural verb. But in such countries like, here the examples are given, like English, Spanish, Chinese, Japanese, Vietnamese, Portuguese, French, they are named, means the same as their language. So according to the, when it is used with the determiner, it is quite understood that we are talking about the inhabitants, and when we are talking about the inhabitants, it is plural, and thus the verb has to be plural, not singular. All right, now some more irregularities in singular verb we will see. The poor have many problems. The rich get richer. The rich, we will not say the rich gets richer. We will not say the poor has. Okay, although, means again, these are collective nouns, which is always considered as plural. And when the noun is plural, obviously the verb has to be plural. Okay, a few adjectives can be preceded by the and used as a plural noun without final s to refer to people who have that quality. For example, the young, the elderly, the living, the dead, the blind, the deaf, the disabled, all these are such examples which requires a plural verb, because in itself it is a plural noun without having s at the end. I hope it's clear. Hope you have understood the lecture. If you want me to explain any other part of the grammar or linguistics, you can leave your comment in the comment box, and inshallah I will try to explain it as more easily as I can. Thank you. Take care.